Hey guys, it's Zach, and welcome to episode 32 of Let's Play Chrono. Okay, in the last episode, we did a few side quests, really. We went to Viper Manor, I got a few chests that I didn't get the first time through. We figured out what the Life Sparkle thing did, and we got a couple of party members that we may never use. So it wasn't really that interesting, but, yeah, I had fun. Also, I want to apologize that this part is now a week late. Of course, this is the recap episode, right? Yeah. This was going to go up last week, but, or I was going to record it last week, but, I ran into a problem. My mom, ended up getting sick. It's nothing too serious or anything. But I like to record when there's no one in the house, just so I'm not, like, bothering anybody, because sometimes I tend to talk rather loud when I'm recording these things. Also, I did not want to be interrupted. So, yeah, I like to record when there's no one in the house, and so, I couldn't really do that last week. But, however, now I can, of course. Now, okay, so in this recap episode, how this is going to work is I've actually written a script of, it's a little over 2 pages of nothing but exposition. I've actually summarized, or at least I tried to summarize most of the exposition. While I'm reading the script, you're going to see images, or, well, the scenes from the Let's Play. Because I've actually gone through the episodes that actually contain the scenes for the particular exposition that I'm talking about. And so you're going to see that, and it's going to be kind of a nice little thing and whatnot. And I want to apologize just first off that if you're not able to follow this all the way, there's really nothing I can do. While I did summarize, or at least tried to summarize, there is a ton of exposition still, because it's a little over 2 pages here. It's more so pertaining to when we get into Viper Manor, and when we get to Galdo for the first time and we speak to the shaman. Because, there's a lot of dialogue, like plot dialogue there, and it's so it took a while to go through that, and, while I tried to summarize, it's a little, lengthy. So I apologize if it's hard to keep up, but I'm sure you can work through it and understand it. I didn't understand the plot the first time I read it, but now I've committed the entire plot to memory, and I understand, everything and how everything works and whatnot. So, anyway, without further ado, I guess we should get started here. Surge, Kid, and a random third-party member, in this case Fargo, infiltrate the mysterious tower in the hopes of getting revenge on Lynx. After making it to the top of the structure, Surge feels a bit weird and cutscenes depict him killing Kid. Surge wakes up in his home in Arnie Village and shakes off the dream. After collecting Komodo dragon scales for his girlfriend Lena, they rendezvous at a Pusa beach. They talk about what they used to do on the beach and the future when suddenly Surge hears a voice calling his name. He sees visions of people running and screaming, and an animal that looks like a panther. A mystical force engulfs Surge, and a tidal wave slams into the beach. He wakes up to find that Lena is gone. Surge returns to Arnie Village, and Lena, who doesn't believe that this guy is Surge, tells him to visit Surge's grave over at Cape Howell. At Cape Howell, Surge reads the inscription on the tombstone and learns that he died 10 years ago. Karsh, Salt, and Pepper of the Asia Dragoons drop by to apprehend him. But Kid shows up, and with her help, Surge defeats Karsh and the others. After the battle, Karsh and his men retreat and Kid mentions she's off to the city of Termina. At Termina, Surge and his friends meet an odd young man by the name of Korcha. They learn more about General Viper and Kid arrives again. Surge wants to know why Karsh and the other Asia Dragoons are after him, and Kid needs to head to the Viper Manor for another reason. Kid joins the party, and they meet Gael, who needs to obtain an item from there as well. Together, the three of them talk to Korcha and get a ride in his boat to the manor. After breaking into the manor, Surge and his friends meet the Prophet of Time. The Prophet explains to everyone that 10 years ago, something happened to Surge that put his soul teetering on the balancing scales of fate. This resulted in the world splitting into two parallel dimensions. One world in which Surge lived, and one in which he died. Neither world is aware of the other's existence. Each world is a world of possibilities that might have existed. The Prophet explains that he doesn't know what happened to Surge 10 years ago, or what was triggered to bring him to this alternate world. However, the Prophet is certain that there are spots in this world where one can cross over into the alternate world. It's as if the two worlds are constantly connected by some unknown force. Depending on the spot, these two worlds could influence each other in strange ways. He believes that Surge is the missing piece of some larger puzzle, and that the vacuum created by Surge's absence from this world pulled him across the dimensional border. But he doesn't know for sure. With the answers revealed to everyone, Kid wants to know why Surge died to begin with. The Prophet says that the only way to know is to keep moving forward. The Prophet advises Surge and his friends to go up to see General Viper, and warns them that there is a much stronger being they will encounter. Surge and his friends meet Harl, Link's assistant, on their way to General Viper's office. She advises that Surge not fight Lynx or he will surely die. She leaves and Surge enters General Viper's office with his friends. Upon entering, they see what they think is the Frozen Flame at first on the General's desk. General Viper enters and says he's not the one sending the Dragoons. Lynx enters and says he is the one who wants Surge. He reveals that the Frozen Flame, which is one of two things Kid came here for, is not here. The Frozen Flame lies hidden in the Sea of Eden. After fighting Lynx, Surge looks at the Dragon Tear. The Dragon Tear shows him weird visions that really don't make any sense at the moment. But trust me, they will eventually. Link says that the day will come when the world will be at war because of Surge. More enemies show up, and Kid takes Riddle hostage. Surge and his friends, along with Riddle, make their way up to the roof with Karsh, the Dragoons, Lynx, and General Viper in pursuit. They corner Surge and his friends at the edge of the roof. Kid refuses to go with Lynx, and Lynx pulls out a dagger. He tosses it at Kid. Kid pushes Riddle out of the way and gets hit by the dagger. She tumbles over the edge of the roof. Link says he's waited a long time for Surge and demands that Surge come with them. Surge refuses and jumps off the roof. Guile and himself land in the water by Korcha's boat. Surge wakes up in Korcha's hometown of Galdove. He learns that Kid is very ill. The doctor explains that Kid has been poisoned with Hydra venom. She'll die in 2 days unless she can get the only known cure, Hydra humor. But the Hydras are now extinct. Surge doesn't know how to save her, and elects not to. They head off to see the shaman in Galdove. There, Diria, the shaman, tells Surge that the key that connects the two worlds may lie in the land of Genesis. Stina, Diria's assistant, speaks of the dragons that inhabit El Nido and other Dragonian ruins. She mentions that Fort Dragona is the only fully functioning ruin left. Diria says that the only way to activate the ruins is by the use of the Dragon Tier. Stina points out that an unknown assailant stole it and took it away from Galdove. If that person uses it on the ruin, a terrible disaster will come about. Stina offers to answer any question to the best of her ability. She mentions she doesn't know where the land of Genesis is, but that all phenomenon occur there. That some other will, other than Surge, already being dead, is acting behind this. Stina then goes on to mention that Fort Dragona is at the peak of Mount Pure. Diria mentions that each dragon god represents one element color. Since each color symbolizes the powers of nature, the dragon gods are referred to as the gods of nature. Stina says that she hasn't heard of the Frozen Flame, but that through the oral lore of Galdove, a flame is mentioned. The lore states that if you stare at the flame, it will stare back and transform you into a different person or kill you. Trust me, this will become important when we head to Fort Dragona. Stina mentions that in an old poem, the 6 dragons sealed the evil flame and that the evil flame sought to engulf the world. Remember, this is a legend, and I will reference it when we're on the second disc. Matcha, Korcha's mother, offers Surge and his friends a ride to Termina. In Termina, Surge and his friends overhear Glenn, a member of the AC Dragoons, talking about how the General, Lynx, and more Dragoons have left Viper Manor to head to Fort Dragona. Glenn mentions that the poor army has heard of the Frozen Flame and are coming to investigate. Riddle and Glenn didn't like the way the General was acting when he left, so Glenn is going to Fort Dragona as well to investigate. Surge and his friends tell Matcha that they need the boat to get to Fort Dragona. She gives them the boat and Glenn joins the team. Glenn mentions that before heading to Mount Pure, they need to talk to Radis on a small island first. On the island called Hermit's Hideaway, Surge and his friends meet Radis, who says that Lynx is really the one who's behind all of this. At some point very recently, Dario, a member of the Dragoons, lost his life. It was at this time that Lynx approached General Viper and told him of the Frozen Flame. The Frozen Flame can heal all illnesses and fulfill any dream. The General intends to get the Frozen Flame and use it to defeat the poor nation, a nation governed by militarism. Radis warns our young heroes that he would not want to face the General in battle, and that fighting Lynx is a very dangerous move, for he is a fearsome man. Radis mentions that there are cursed spirits wandering the sea at night, and they are attacking ships. Surge and his friends meet Fargo, yes, that's important, and help him free his ship from the ghosts. After that, Fargo says that Surge and his friends will need the divine protection from the Water Dragon in order to enter Mount Pure unharmed. Surge and his friends leave the ship and head back to Galdove to see Kid. They find that she's alive and well. The doctor says that a mysterious man came by with a hydrohammer for Kid. Surge then gets Kid up to speed on what Lynx and the General are doing. Kid mentions that the General has the Dragon Tear and will activate the ruin. With the Water Dragon gone in this world, there's no way to get the Divine Protection. Kid says she has a solution. She mentions the land of Genesis the shaman spoke of, and says the situations are different in both worlds. Things missing in one world can often be found in the other. She says that her astral amulet is part of 2 keys to crossing the dimensions. She believes Surge is the other key because, according to the shaman, it's someone who's not supposed to be in this world that's a link to a world that was severed 10 years ago. She gives Surge the astral amulet and rejoins the party. Now it's time to go to the land of Genesis, the place where it all began. Okay, so there is the entire plot up to the point that we are at now. So I hope you all understood that. I'm sure it is. It's not really that hard to understand, but it is a lot of exposition and a lot of things you got to keep in mind. Once again, I'm mentioning this for the first time, that when I reach the end of the game, like probably around defeating the final boss, or even probably before going to defeat the final boss, I'll probably do another one of these, or I'll probably just do it really quick, like just say lots of things, because I know a lot more. Of course, I committed the entire plot to memory, so I know exactly, everything that goes on in this game. Well, all the important plot information anyway. Not necessarily every, side quest. But I know that, there's a lot more going on here than just what we've learned so far. And anyway, okay, so I hope you enjoyed this. In the next episode, we will actually get back to the game, of course, and I'll finish up the Skelly side quest, and we'll actually go go to Land of Genesis. Actually, we'll head back to the home world and cross dimensions for the I guess the second time. It would be the first time on screen you'd be able to control going between the dimensions, but technically second time since it happened in a cutscene. So yeah. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. In the next episode we'll get back to the game and do some awesome things. So I'll see you guys then.